When I was promoted to become a director of a big company, it is an international company. It has some of its head offices in Africa, here in South Africa. So I was then invited at this other house in Sandton before I had started to stay in Sandton, where we ended up the meet of a chameleon. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. Before I share with you the director's confession, there is another story from one of our dear sister who said that it is fine, I can translate her story because she needs advice from any person, regardless of their nationality. A story, the translation, it reads like this. The devil has won. My husband, he was beaten by his workmates at a truck stop. Now it seems as if he is going to be paralyzed or he is going to lose his mind. My name is Pretty. I am 28 years old. I am a Zimbabwean woman. I am writing this confession to you because I need genuine advice. Should I divorce my husband because he is about to be paralyzed? As for me, I am here in Ireland, but I have been in Ireland for only 4 months and I don't have any money. I am staying with my best friend. She has a brother who is a citizen here in Ireland who assisted my friend to come to Ireland, who also played a key role in me coming to Ireland. I am owing her a lot of money that I can't pay. So when I told him about the situation back home, that my husband, he was beaten up in South Africa and it seems as if he's going to be paralyzed for life. This man, he then said that, how about we date, divorce your husband and we can get married, because how can you live for the rest of your life with a man that is going to be paralyzed? He also said that the money that you are owing me, it is okay. I won't ask for that money if you agree that we have to date and if it happens, we can be married. So this is why I have come here, Brother Nashim. Let me take you back to South Africa. Me and my husband, we were staying in Joburg. So my husband, he had been working in South Africa for a very long time. He had a permanent residency. In the company that he was working for, he became the foreman in that company because of his legal status in South Africa. But the challenge that was there was that it seemed as if there were people that did not want him to continue working in that same company, because the man that he was working for, he pays a lot of money. So there were a lot of people that wanted and still want to work for that company because they know that once you work for that company, you earn a good salary. So those guys, they made sure that the workers that were from other countries, they eventually got fired by the boss. And my husband, he was the only one that was still working. My husband was hijacked. And when he was hijacked, as a family, we even suspected that maybe it was an inside job, since there were people that were open with him that they were not comfortable to work with him anymore, since he was not from the country. So I even spoke with my husband and I said, how about you just stop working, then we can start afresh. But my husband, as you know, that each and every man, he has his own ego. So in his mind, maybe it was like, if I stop working, then it means that my wife, she is going to control me. My husband then said, no, since I have a permanent residency, I am more like a South African, so there is no problem. I am not an illegal migrant. There is no one that is going to give me any problems. Let us make money, babe. So my husband is the one that also gave me an idea to do a nursing aid course, which I did. And after I had graduated, and then my friend, she assisted me and I got my visa and I flew to Ireland. So my husband, I even spoke with him and I said, how about you just go home? The little that I will be making, you will be at home in Zim with the kids. Even if I just manage to send money for food, you'll be okay. But my husband, he refused, and he said, no, babe, in order for me to be able to come to Ireland, you know that you need a lot of money, and you just can't make that money on your own in a short period of time. What needs to happen is that I have to work, you have to work. Then we put our monies together on the table, and then we can have a better life. I said, okay, it's fine. If that is what you say, there is no problem. So my husband, he continued working in South Africa. Then one day he called me and he said that at his workplace, his other workmates, they had said that they want to go on a strike because they want their salaries to be increased as well as other bonuses. And then my husband, I asked him what he was going to do. He then said, no, with the situation, it is very tense. I can't go to work. So my husband, he was in the location where we were staying. Later on, then he called me and he said that the boss had called him, and he told my husband that the people at this other warehouse, they had called him and they had said that any company that does not bring a truck on that day, because they are into cold meat storage, and they always want that meat to be moved from the warehouse going to the supermarket. So they called my husband's boss, and then they said that if you fail to pitch at least one of your trucks at our loading bay, then unfortunately we will have to cancel your contract, because we can't go on hiring temporary trucks, yet we have people that we have signed contracts with. So my husband, when he received that phone call, the boss then said, can you please come, at least just assist me so that we don't lose this contract, since it is only an 80-kilometer journey. According to what my husband told me, it is 40 kilometers going to that loading bay and going to deliver. So it was just 80 kilometers. My husband then thought that it was just nothing, since the boss had already asked some of the guys that my husband was working with. So my husband went and he collected the truck and he went to load. The other guys that my husband was working with, when they saw on the group that my husband had gone to do that one load and to go and pack the truck so as to save their company's contract, then they all came and they took their trucks. They worked throughout the day delivering the meat. So later on in the day, that was when they called my husband. They gave him a location and they said that, come, let us meet, because we want to do a meeting to see what is going to be our next move. My husband then claims that when he arrived at the scene, then they started to fight with him for no reason, and one pinned him to the ground and hit him on the head. From there on, he says that he can't remember what happened, but there were other truck drivers that came and they rescued him and called an ambulance. He was then admitted. He stayed in the hospital. So I had to borrow my friend's brother, and I borrowed him money and I sent it to South Africa, and my husband is now in Zim. I spoke with my brother-in-law, who is my husband's younger brother. He said that the situation is not okay because they went to a specialist. When they went to a specialist, they were told that my husband, he had trauma on his brain, and it might happen that my husband, he can be sick for the rest of his life. He can be in a wheelchair, meaning that he won't be able to do anything for himself. Unfortunately, brothers and sisters, even though I am a Christian, I pray, but I can't do this. Even though when we got married on our wedding day, I made a vow that even if it happens that he gets sick, but not like this, Brother Nash. I am trying to get my life in order. I am the only breadwinner in the family. I can't have a paralyzed husband. That is why I have come here. Please do not judge me. I just need advice from your listeners. It does not matter even if people judge me, as long as they give me advice. I have been on a date with this man here in Ireland. We went on a date because he said that you are stressed, you are traumatized. Let me take you out on a date. And what is irritating me is that my sister-in-laws, they are saying that I am supposed to leave Ireland and to return back to Zim so that I can take care of my paralyzed husband. Please assist me. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our DM sister. That was the short translation of her story. Let us try to speak with her in the comment section. What do you think she is supposed to do if you were in her shoes? Were you going to divorce your husband because he is now about to get paralyzed, or you will stick by him? She is saying that she is broke. She does not have any money. She recently arrived in Ireland. She is still trying to find her way in Ireland, and she is a breadwinner in her family. Let us speak with him in the comment section. Then there is another message that I want to share with you. It reads like this. I once attended a director's party in Joburg, and then I was forced to eat a chameleon. My name, you will call me David. I am a Zimbabwean that is well off in South Africa. I stay in a gated community where I do not even get to know what is happening in downtown Joburg. I am living a very expensive lifestyle. I live like a king. My life, it is okay. I have a wife. I have kids that are going to private schools. I can drive any car that I can think of right now. If I go to any dealership, I can get that car in an instant. My life, it is perfect, unlike some of my people from my own country. But what has brought me here, there is a story that I want to share with you. I only shared this story with one South African woman. She was a prostitute, but a high-end prostitute, an escort, they call them. I went with her on a vacation just to unwind, to chill, and to relax. Whilst we were on our vacation, I then told her and I said, look, there is something that is bothering me. And then she asked me and she said, what is it? And I told her that, I ate a chameleon. And when I ate this chameleon, I was given an ultimatum, and I was told by the people that had given me this cooked chameleon, and they said that if you do not eat it, then you need to forget about your promotion into becoming a director of this multinational company. So because I wanted this promotion from my position, I ended up eating this chameleon. That girl, she did not believe it. She thought that maybe I was lying to him, but it was not a bad joke. It was the truth. So when I came across your video on Facebook, I just thought that since you share weird stories, let me also share with you my own weird story. Maybe you'll be quick to believe me, unlike what that girl said, that it was just a tasteless joke. And I felt as if I was really weird when I told her that story, which she thought was just a joke, a bad joke. So what happened, Brother Nashi, was that I was called. The way that I was promoted in a way that was very unconventional. I was called, and when I went to see this other guy who was also a former director in the company, it was very weird when he called me to his house. And as we sat, me and his wife, having dinner, he then said that, oh, the company has decided to promote you. So I was like, this guy, he is no longer working for the company. So how is it that the company is now communicating with him, and they communicating with me through the former director of the company? It's like maybe you have been working for Pick and Pay. You worked for Pick and Pay 10 years ago, and then there is a new cashier in town, and she is working for that same Pick and Pay. And then you have to call that cashier to your house, and then she comes to your house, and then then you tell her that Pick and Pay has decided to give you a promotion. That is what happened to me. When that former director of our company told me that the company had decided to give me a promotion, I was excited. Even my wife was excited because there were company benefits that was going to come my way, even my kids. When I say that my kids are in private school, I don't even remember the last time that we paid any single cent for the kids, because the company takes care of everything. Everything is covered, medical aid, everything that you can think of. Hence, I said that I am living like a king. Any car that I want that is new on the market, you tell me the name, I can tell you that in a couple of days it will be parked in my garage. So I was then told that before I would have been given that promotion, I was supposed to go to an event in the company where it was going to be made official. I said, oh, okay. I wanted to bring my wife, but then they told me that I was supposed to come alone. So on that day, I then came to Santon. By then, we were not yet staying in Santon. I came alone, and when I arrived at the house, there were nice cars that were parked, and I got indoors. I saw other people that I knew from our office, as well as other people that I did not know. So they were people from different walks of lives, as well as whites, as well as blacks that were there. We were all professionals. And then we started to drink, but not like your heavy alcohol. And as we were sitting down, we were told to remove our shoes. I removed my shoes, everyone removed their shoes, and we were told to sit on the floor, directly on the floor. Everyone got off from the couch or from the chair where they were sitting, and we all sat on the floor because food was about to be served. Then the food was brought in. It was very weird because I thought that maybe we're going to sit at a table, maybe in the garden, but no, the food was brought, and these plates that the ladies that were carrying the food, the plates, they were wooden plates, but in the middle there was a white dot that was painted in the middle of the plates. When they put the plates on the floor, I nearly vomited. I ended up vomiting anyway because of the content that was inside of the plates. I saw that there was a cooked chameleon as well as green peas. That was all that was inside of the plates. This made me to vomit because those people that were at the party, all of them, they started to eat the chameleon as if it was nothing. That is what shocked the hell out of me. It was as if it was nothing. They just started to eat the chameleon, and they said that it was nice meat that they were eating. A chameleon, that one. Brother Nashi, I want you to put a picture of a chameleon so that people who do not understand can understand what a creature it is that I was forced to eat. So I don't know, because I have always heard about this, that the more that you move high up into society, the space, it starts to get smaller. You see a pyramid. Those that are poor, they have more freedom at the bottom. You see a pyramid. At the pyramid at the bottom, you can see that it is very wide, but as it goes up, it becomes smaller and smaller until you reach the tip at the end. So I just started to wonder, and I said, if these people have forced me to eat a chameleon in order for them to recognize me as the director of the company, what about your presidents? What about those guys? Have you ever seen that there are people that are presidents, when they are campaigning, they are always talking a lot of stuff, but once they get into power, little is done. Does it mean that there are rituals that you do once you are someone that has so much power? It made me to wonder. To this very day, I think about it at all the times. I don't pray. I don't go to church. I really do not believe in God. But whenever I think about it, now that I am older, I'm starting to think, if God is there, and if God is there, is it true that our bodies as well as our hearts, they are the temple of the Holy Spirit? If our hearts, if my heart is a temple of the Holy Spirit, does it mean that when they forced me to eat a chameleon, they were making me unclean in front of my Creator? If it means that there is someone that created me who wants me to be clean, with a clean heart at all the times, Does it mean eating this reptile, they made me to be unclean? Do you know of any culture where they eat chameleons? I can't think of any culture. Brother Nashi, you are the second guy that I have told this story. The other girlfriend of mine, the South African one, she thought that maybe it was just a weird joke, which was not funny. But when I was about to eat that chameleon, I vomited because it was so nasty to eat, to see people eating such a reptile. When you post, you will tell me I am a new follower of you here on Facebook. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our dear brother. I will try to post as much as I can on Facebook so that we can keep on getting people sending their confessions on Facebook as well. Let us speak with our dear brother in the comment section. It is very interesting when he said that what he has realized is that the more that you move up, the small, it gets smaller and smaller. At the bottom, when you are poor, you have so much freedom. I guess when you are poor, if someone says, eat this chameleon, you will say, no, I'm not going to eat the chameleon. But when you have moved up, maybe it is very hard for you to resist, because you know that when you are at the top of the pyramid, life is good. Like what he's saying, that his kids, they are in private schools that are very expensive. He does not even know how much the school fees is. He has never spent a single cent on the kids' medical aid, the food they eat, the house, the cars. So even if they say that you have to eat a snake, you can agree because you know how good life is. But when you are poor, you will refuse because you do not have any exposure to that kind of a wealthy lifestyle. Let us speak with our brother in the comment section. Indeed, our hearts, they are the temples of the Holy Spirit. And if it is unclean, then it means that demons, they can do whatever that they want to do with an unclean heart. Then there is a message from one of our dear brother who requested that I translate this story for him into English. It reads like this. Brother Nashi, I have been thinking a lot. I am a truck driver. I am thinking about stealing the truck. I'm in Botswana right now. I am going to offload in Zambia, in Lusaka. The problem with our white boss in South Africa is that he does not give us money, Brother Nash. The money that he gives to us and the way that we work, you can't ever be rich working for him. I am thinking of walking in the footsteps of one of our workmates. He was South African. Until this very day, there is no one that knows where he is. His wife just applied for a passport. She also ran from South Africa and she ran to Mozambique. Let me tell you a story of what he did. He was the one that was doing the route from Joburg to Maputo, even as well as Beira. So you would go to Mozambique, you would go and deliver even your diesel, your petrol, and he would sometimes come to South Africa with oil. And this man, on a particular trip, once he crossed into Mozambique, he then convinced the boss that his phone, it had been broken after he had dropped it on the ground. The boss then said that he was going to send him some money. Then after that, he was never found, no communication, no what. So they rushed to where he was staying, and then they found out that the wife, she had ran away. She had applied for a passport and she had ran away to Mozambique. Those people, they were never found. Our boss is very stingy. He does not pay. We are only getting paid 13,000 rands. Crossing borders, you can go to DRC for only 13,000. I know that if I work for him, I am going to be broke for the rest of my life. Now I have been thinking, I have been having a lot of these imaginations in my heart and in my mind. In Lusaka, there are a lot of people that can buy a truck. And if someone that is from DRC buys a truck, Once it is in DRC, you know there is no rule of law. It will never be found. Maybe I can go back home having 50,000 US dollars and I can start afresh. Why I am saying this, Brother Nashim, I do have a work permit, but this work permit is still on standby. I only have what they call a waiver, meaning that it is still in process. I don't know if it is going to come out. We have been on this situation for a long time. And even at the border, I had some problems. I'm afraid that if I come back, maybe I'm going to get fired and I would have lost this final opportunity to make money. Isn't it that they say, get rich or you die trying? Do you think that this is my moment to get rich or die trying? I need advice. I don't care if you translate my story into English or not. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our dear brother. Yo, brother, I know that you are saying that you have this opportunity to sell that truck and then you get all of this lot of money. It has happened before in your company. And you were saying that even your boss is not an honest guy. He can even just get his truck crashed so that he can claim for insurance. But once you do something like this, if it appears on the news, you can imagine maybe there are families out there that are still depending on living in South Africa. Once there is a story that there is a guy that has run away with a truck from Zim, it is just going to be bad. Even as for you, you will never be free wherever you go to. You maybe the police will always be looking for you. They even if you try to go to another country, you never know. Maybe you might get arrested because you would have stolen something like a Mercedes-Benz Actros, which we're saying is still brand new, and a trailer as well. It's obvious that everyone will be looking for you, my brother. I know that you're saying that in Lusaka, there are a lot of people that buy trucks and the truck will be sent to DRC. Once it is in DRC, you will never get that truck. It will be working in DRC forever. But just think about other people that are still dependent on South Africa. So just bring back that truck. Just be honest. Does not matter even if you are getting a small salary. That is what you agreed to work for. You should have refused from the start when you were looking for a job from that white guy. Even if you say that he's too much clever, he can get his truck crashed so that he can claim for insurance, it can get him a new truck. But still, once something like this appears on the news, it is going to be bad for other people that are still desperate in South Africa. Let us speak with our dear brother who requested that I translate this into English so that he can get advice. He was saying that I need a view from people from different countries as well as different backgrounds. If you were in his situation, what were you going to do? He's saying that he feels as if this is the his final moment that he can get rich. Let us speak with him in the comment section. I'll be back with another episode.